And we are live. And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. I am Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for this evening's show. Tonight is episode number 27, and waiting in the green room is our special guest, Buddy Finethy. Buddy is a legendary creator and artist. He has developed the characters for Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. He was a creative director for musicians like Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Allman Brothers, Stevie Ray Vaughan, but most importantly, he helped develop Toy Lanta and will be a vendor at Joe Lanta this coming weekend. As always, I'd like to give out a few channel plugs, Payne's Toy Samples, and Chasing 80s Toys. Check them both out. I think you guys will like them. I always want to thank all my new subscribers, and three of my newest subscribers this past week were John Courtney, Tristan Knight, and Penny Johnson. One announcement, next Monday, August 14th, our special guest will be the one, the only, Scuba Pete. And you can catch Scuba Pete on his YouTube channel, Chasing 80s Toys. So with that out of the way, let's get started with our introductions for tonight. First off, let's pull up this guy. He's in the dark room. This man always takes more than 15 items through the express lane, but he doesn't give a damn. This is Angelo DeAnnabelle. Sorry about that, Ange.
No.
Hey, I got one for you too, buddy.
Man.
If it wasn't for this guy, we wouldn't need to have safety trainings in the workplace. This is Jim Egner.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah. Woo.
Man.
I got to do one of these for Paul.
I probably should have saved that for this guy. He's probably the safety training guy right here, man. This Gen Xer says, take your participation trophies and toss them in the trash because I don't give a damn. This is Mike Bowinski.
Hey.
Not a big participation trophy kind of guy, are you?
Depends on what I'm participating in.
And we haven't seen your face in a while.
Yeah, I'm here though.
Yeah, but this man wasn't bitten by a zombie. This is his natural look. This is Robert DeCastro. All right, gentlemen, how you doing tonight? Everybody doing good?
Doing good.
We're awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off with let's go in reverse order. What's new in the zoo with you? Since we haven't seen you in such a long time, there's got to be something new in your zoo.
Yeah, blank robots are going to be coming in soon for me to paint. And I've got some custom G.I. Joes that's going to go up on my latest diorama that's going to come out either later tonight or tomorrow afternoon.
Very cool.
Yes.
Moving up the chain here. How about you, Medic Mike? What do you got?
Oh, what I got today is just what I showed you guys earlier. I'm trying to get to the photo stories I was going to do, so I'm gearing up some figures and tightening up these COTS bodies in order to make some decent stuff. That's all that's on the plate for right now, aside from the videos I ain't got to yet with tearing that MSV apart.
You still working on that MSB there?
Yep. I'm trying to figure out which way to go next, but it's not a secret. I'll be exposing it soon.
Right on.
Yeah.
Mr. 3D printer extraordinaire, what do you have going on?
This week, I guess, since the last time, it's been mostly family business that we're having to deal with. So I don't really have anything to show. So.
What was that yellow thing that you showed earlier before we
Yeah, let's see that again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, people have been asking you about that for a long time. When's that going to be available?
Yeah, we're real close to the final iteration of this.
That's the only part I'm waiting for.
Take my money.
Yeah, it's real close. So I hope to have maybe in the next week or two a couple to send out to some folks on this panel that might want to take a sneak preview of. So
Right on, man.
Very cool.
I may have another one around here somewhere too. So see what happens.
And Angelo, in the dark, what do you got going on, bro?
Hey, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat who said hello to me. So hello, Thank you very much. It's good to see everyone out there. What's new in the zoo? Well, I've been up and down with my health and whatever's going on here around the house. I was building a shed out back. I'm about 3/4 done with the shed, and now we got some torrential downpours, so I'm going to hold off for another day. Got to get it done before Joanna. I got the bug of classified. I mean, I keep buying them. If you can see right next to me, I got Shipwreck and Rock and Roll the other day. I went and got a couple more today. I said, I don't know. I love those figures. I love my 1/6 scale. Adventure Team's #1, but these guys bring back a lot of memories of the 80s when I had them. One of the things I just flocked the other day was a dragon head. This dragon head, I don't know if it was an American figure or a German figure, but he had a real bad receding hairline. I put a mustache, beard, and hair on it, and everyone thinks it looks like Gerard Butler. And when you do,
and you made him sing too.
It looks like him, and I was like, wow. And I said, I had no idea, but the difference when you put flock on a figure's head, it totally changes the look. I've done one of a Luke Skywalker, and I made him look like Chuck Norris. And I got to do. I've done
that's cool.
4 of those, and I got one more downstairs. I got to do that one up as well.
Very good. I almost said, Buddy's in the green room, and you're still talking. You were the one that said, "Hurry it up."
I'm so fast.
That was fast for you, man.
It was.
Logic Blaster in the house. Mike's GI Dojo. Play Scale. Soldier Productions. Gamer Newbie Ed. We got a good crowd tonight. Official Leonard Toys. We had that gentleman on in 2 weeks ago. Big Boss Jack. We're still Big Boss Jack, super fan. He gets a super fan pin this week.
He's an awesome.
Well, I guess we shouldn't leave our special guest in the green room much longer. Let me give you a quick introduction on this man. Let me try to get him up here. So,
hola.
I would read this man's resume, but we only have 45 minutes left in the show. So let's just say he's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. This is Buddy Finethy. Buddy.
I'm a big Mission Impossible fan, brother. Go with it.
Dude, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on our show. No doubt.
It's an honor and a privilege to be here. I am in the company of rock stars.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding me? The medic? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Robert, this is all just a con job for me to get these guys to do some work with me. It really is phenomenal, the group of people you put together here, man.
Yeah,
Jim Egnar has added so much to my lack of leisure time. This is a misprint, he called it. 50 caliber stand for a Jeep, and his print of a 50 cal, which is beautiful. It was just a slap of super glue away from greatness.
Yep.
And then a custom bushing in there to make it still articulated and everything. So
fabulous.
We are rocking the Egnar in the house. As I said, I'm in the company of rock stars.
Right on.
So I'm hoping I'm getting all of you guys down here to Joanna.
Well, you're definitely getting that guy in the top right corner. He's excited. His bags are already packed.
Jim's going
we're looking forward to it. And Jim, you're heading down our way, right?
That's my plan.
All right. So we've got the local law enforcement is aware of your situation. So we're all cool, man.
That's too bad. Well, I wish I could make it.
He's still in the witness protection program.
But it's going to be fantastic because Joanna is really morphing into what we were talking about earlier, and that is a place where the self-producing fan can bridge that gap into micro manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been excited to follow Jim and Brad Curry and several other cats. The Medic has always been a name brand in all the Joe dealings I've had. So there's stuff. And Robert set the bar on custom stuff back in the day. I don't know if you knew how many jealous people were roaming around when he would show the photo album from home. It's like, that's the stuff at home. Okay. All right. So it really is. And this is the exact company we're trying to keep at Toylanta. I mean, we have a room full of artifact toys. There's as much plastic as anybody can possibly claw through. And we are literally sold out. We're as sold out can be. It's for vendor space and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
But through the door, the people that we've got for people to talk to about how to up their creativity game and how to up their engagement in this hobby. How many hours have we all put into the skills we have acquired to do this particular discipline? It has affected every part of our lives. Every discipline we take on to get better at this, it makes something else better. And I am fully convinced that that's the entire mission of the human race. Spread creativity and we'll find an answer. And all we had to do was have the bar raised by Mr. DeCastro there, and we were all off to the races. So, you know, but it's an amazing collection of cats you got here, man. How'd you same parole officer?
No. Actually, we started with a group of guys. There's only 6 or 7 of us. They called us the Axis of Awesome. And then
oh yeah, absolutely, the Axis.
Yeah, so I was like the 7th member in there, and I said, hey, why don't I start doing a live stream and bringing in more guys interested in 1/6 scale? And nobody else wanted to take it on. I said, all right, I guess I'll do it. And then that's when I found Brad Curry and Jim Egner. And, you know, I just kept going on people's Facebook pages and saying, hey, I love your stuff you're posting. I love your YouTube page. You want to come on the live stream? Some guys are scared to live stream. They don't want to do it. Other guys are like, yeah, I'll do it, you know. And guys like Robert, I had to pay him $100. You know, guys like Robert, I had to pay him a couple $100, but it was worth it.
Hey, wait, you got on that cheap, Bob? What the hell?
Checks in the mail, bro. Checks in the mail, bro.
That's it. Well, I mean, but building a stable of people to keep it interesting and keep it lively and know what they're talking about, it really is a rare commodity to find somebody who's willing to bounce the conversation around. It's a skill in and of itself. And just to find folks that are open to it now, it makes me, I can't even believe it's the same hobby it was 30 years ago. It is astonishingly more interconnected and more micro connected than it ever has been. And I think that there's enough community there to give us all something to do in it to feel accomplished, no matter at what level.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't tell you how many free G.I. Joe art jobs I've done, pal. I've done a lot of them. And it was because, like, I'm sharing my talent with the thing that inspired me to do artwork as a living. You know, G.I. Joe was my first model. It was the first thing I ever drew as far as a representation of a human being. And it affected my sense of storytelling because I was abjectly impoverished as a kid. I mean, it was below trailer park standards we're talking. So to have a G.I. Joe back then was a big deal. It became, you know, that was the toy of the year, basically. Yeah. And I wore that guy out, and I never forgot that G.I. Joe. And so storytelling became an integral part of every endeavor I've ever gone into, because I think we can tell any truth through a story of any kind, you know, and if it's a good truth, it'll carry, you know, and that's what this is. It's storytelling in plastic.
Yeah.
And that's a hard message to get across to people sometimes.
Yes. Buddy, could you go through what Joe Lanta is like? Like, I've never been, and I know there's a lot of people who haven't been and would like to go, but it is a huge, like I said, it's a living thing.
It is. It's a giant beast, man. It is a beast.
Because a lot of people just think it's vendors in a room buying, you know, and buying items, but it's not. There's so much more to it. Could you go into in depth a little bit about what else takes place during a Joe Lanta show?
Well, Joe Lanta has a nightlife of its own. You know, after hours, the Cody Lane Foundation on Saturday night has an entire series of events that they sponsor: an auction, a concert with Radio Cult, which is Ricky and Bambi are the most fantastic, underrated rock stars in Atlanta. And they do this yearly as an act of contribution and love for the charity that is the Cody Lane Foundation. Cody Lane has been a charity of ours, and in some cases participated in the management of the show in years when I was just too overwhelmed to be able to handle it. And grew under their stewardship, and I will be forever grateful that they did that. So this year they've got their own smaller vendor room to the side. They'll be doing panels of their own and doing presentations. We'll also have a seminar room where we'll have people like Turl Ashby talking about his exclusive developments. I'm hoping to get Brad and Jim to have like a Muhammad Ali, George Foreman kind of showdown in there. And we have just a great synergy with a code convention called GooCon. GooCon is a convention celebrating special effects makeup artists in Atlanta, and they're all, no matter what they say, they're all toy guys. Every special effects guy I ever met was a toy guy. So I've gone a long way to fish the whales in, fellas. Come on, help me out. But it's a beautiful kind of tribe that we've gotten together. And so parts of it break off into its own segments after hours, but a lot of it comes together for that very thing that we're all after, and that is that sense of community. And that is where we shine. I think if you're not a stranger, we've got something in common. I may not know who you are, but by God, I know somebody who, is copacetic with this hobby that means so much. It really, in a lot of places, people would say, well, you're a little wacky about this whole thing, but I don't think so. I think anything that brings joy to humanity is a worthwhile pursuit. And I could hang out with 1 million rock stars and not get half the kick I get out of seeing these kids discovering G.I. Joe for the first time, or just tearing into Thundercats, or just tearing into the genre that their dad loved. And to see that connectivity, art can be a lonely thing, but this is a joyful community that we've got going.
Yes.
And I thank God every day for the creatives I meet in this, because I don't compete with others. I learn from them, and I want to know what these cats have to teach us. And there's some beautiful cats that are in the GooCon sector and the Joanna sector that are amazing sculptors. That we have the maker guys, Clay Sayer, Steve Bugg. I do a little bit of this sometimes. Angelo's been inducted, whether he knows it or not, or maybe even likes it or not. And what we do is we try to educate the public on how to make cool stuff with no money. There are cheap ways to do anything. And if you take your time and learn craftsmanship and don't treat a failed experiment as a failure. It's not. It's an experiment that led to another direction you took.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we try to encourage people, because people are way too easily scared off of creativity. It blows my mind. And sometimes all it really takes, and it has blown my mind again, how many times this has worked, where just a few good words to change the context of what they're doing in their eyes. There's a sense of dignity to being an artist in our walls. There's a sense of dignity to creativity, and that there is no bad expenditure of creativity, no matter the level of execution. We're all in the same tribe, and we're learning from each other. And when I see those entries in the diorama contest, and I see those entries in the custom figure contest or the vehicle contest, and I know how many hours that a tanker spends, just mother henning that whole collection of artifacts that are not in competition. We're just trying to reward the ones that have obviously striven, to get theirs done. And we applaud everybody that puts in, because they're all telling stories. It's like putting a book in a library. You're adding to that library with every diorama, with every custom figure. It is a storytelling medium, and it's trickier than most, because you have to tell the story beginning, middle, and end in one slice of a moment in a diorama or a custom figure painting. That is a challenge that people don't often consider, weird ways of solving that challenge. And what I love to see is when a cat comes completely out of left field. Like Wayne Foucher, I don't know if you guys know Wayne. Have y'all had Wayne on?
Yep.
No, we haven't.
Wayne
Oh,
is
yeah.
the king
Good
of the
dude.
Dutch angle, baby. He has got some great effects with the way he angles his figures, the way he lights his figures, and the dynamic nature of the poses. You know, it's cinematic, and you can tell he's been a comic book guy all these years because there's drama in those images. So, simplest thing is see what a master is doing and incorporate it in your own thing. But people need that permission, and it's a crazy scene when you realize that it's as simple as that, but it's as complex as that.
Yeah. Excellent.
Dude, I could listen to you talk forever, man.
Right.
Man, well, it's the real thing. It's easy to talk when it's the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth. We all do this. There is not enough money for what this group on this screen right now puts into this. You know, and only if you're lucky do you get to, like I was and Robert is now, you get to put your creativity to work. And I don't think you guys are far behind that in some of the pursuits you've had.
No.
And that takes encouragement. And the NorCal division, I think back in the day, was the premier GI raising the bar all across the country. And then, you know, Brian Savage's shows really highlighted a lot of cities where a lot of people weren't energized into it. And then we started Joe Lana in 2000. And, you know, we've helped incubate 4 or 5 other shows providing graphic support, advertising support, spreading the word for them, things like that, because more is better. It doesn't, it feels counterintuitive, but more is better. Yeah, stuff gets gone, but damn, have you ever seen so much stuff for sale in your life?
No.
I never imagined this much stuff survived.
Yeah.
It's
true.
incredible. And then we get to revive that stuff with Jim and the Med. So I think you know, and Angelo's up there. He's just tearing into stuff. The muscle body arm trick that he used the power figures with has just revolutionized all these chest and leg combo muscle body guys that I've got.
Yeah.
There's no way you can sit there and just shove out enough arms to do all the muscle bodies that are sitting out there. And we all knew they were going to worth something. They were going to be worth something.
Right.
You know, if nothing else, everybody's making custom Bullet Man out of them, which Bullet Man is one of my proudest accomplishments. So we were those early Savage shows where a bunch of sneaky peeks were running around with Bullet Man and just cooking up a way of making G.I. Joe's dog into a winning pony. And boy, did it. I mean, now it's like Bullet Man all over the place. So it's always been fun to watch this kind of impact get to be made.
Yeah. Just how many years ago we couldn't even imagine that people are going to be flocking G.I. Joe heads in the numbers that they're being done today. And and you know, nobody could even imagine, like, you know, 3D printing blowing up as it does, and it's really a game changer, and it's changed the face of the hobby completely. You know, and I forgot who said it, but somebody said that the fans are doing the best work right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, retro blasting.
Retro blasting. Yeah.
Michael with retro blasting. He is a thinker of a man. Have you guys gotten the chance to meet him?
I haven't met him. No.
I had the honor.
He's usually at our shows, and I really hope he's there this time. But he's such a well thought guy, and he's a very polite man, and but he sticks to his guns about his opinions, and he's another good voice. You know, you may not agree with everything, but you listen, and it's well presented. You know, that's a great thing. And back to what you were saying, Robert. I'm sorry.
No, that you know, it's just that, like, because, you know, we go back like really far. I mean, we went from
the Jurassic,
right? So you know, and like, if somebody wanted to make guns, you had to do, like, you know, you had to get styrene stock and know how to work with that to make stuff, you know, make patterns and everything. And like I said, flocking GI Joe heads, I could not even imagine being able to do
That was like the holy grail.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who was first on the block, but I remember when I got that first box of 6 of them back, I was like, the eagle has landed,
Yes.
man. And you felt like you cracked the
Right.
code.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Remember when I
Revolutionized the
first
hobby.
flocked the first head?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, the electrostatic flocking machines and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see,
Yeah.
Mike and Angelo both flock, don't y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Almost on a daily basis prior to having a little illness, but yeah, flocking all the time. I'm going to the post office every other day, sending them out. I mean, I tell people, I've said almost every state in the United States I've sent heads. I've sent them to Russia. I believe.
Oh, really? Wow. I ain't sent them
Australia,
that far out yet.
Australia, Russia. Those are the furthest I've gone. So overseas and throughout the continental United States. So my heads have been around.
Wow.
Really
You
amazing.
know what I like about yours is you put a good trim job on them when you do them. You know, there's a lot of cats out there that let some wild hairs fly.
Yeah,
You know what
not
I mean?
in my house. No, in my house.
No, Angelo inspired me, man. So I'm in the middle of building my flocking machine patterned after Jeff Shearer's flocking box.
Yeah.
I just send mine off to Mike or Angelo.
I have 12 handheld. 12 handheld I made out of the mosquito zapper, each one with a different length and color. And then I have 4 of the boxes that I made, so I can really get flocking when I'm down in the workshop.
Hey, I got some of those Jim Egnar deep sea diver helmets. Maybe we could flock some of those in copper or something. What do you think?
Yeah, you can flock anything, man. It don't matter.
That might be
well,
very
I'll
interesting.
do Burt Reynolds.
Hey, buddy, you, at one point, don't let me forget. I got to tell you a story about Bullet Man. I'm not. I won't bore everyone now. I know it's a.
Yeah, it's going to be a half-hour story if you tell.
It is a half-hour story.
I'm telling. And I'm just remiss that I'm not wearing a chrome helmet, but I figured it'd be redundant, if you know what I mean.
He's only on the show for 30 more minutes, dude, and we've only got one question. He's only answered one question. It's
are you going to ask your question? Because I want to know about the Toy Lana, Joe Lana divide, or what happened with that. But
it's not a divide. Toy Lana started off as Joe Lana,
right?
And it just kept getting bigger, and it was so far beyond GI Joe that we changed it to Joe Lana, let the name rest. Didn't think anybody was going to miss it. We were going to bring it back as a part of Toy Lana. And then Greg Brown from Cotswold led the charge. And next thing I know, I'm doing Joe Lana again. And so there's no divide. It's just people that really zero in on action figures. They like to look through as much action figure as they can. They don't want to have to go through a whole bunch of maybe other things, though we welcome anybody, bring what they want. We encourage it to be action figures of Joe Lana, of the adventure and military and whatever sort. I really just dig what people are doing with kit bashing on these interchangeable figures that are out there, and the paint job and the effects that they're getting that are professional. I've done a lot of airbrushing in my time. I'd have ended up in the hospital if I did some of those airbrushing. It's just amazing to see it happen.
Hey, Jim, do you have a question that will be under 10 minutes for Buddy?
There's not one.
I guess what's kind of rolling through my brain is, you were talking earlier about creativity, what and how, that's a fountain that some people drink from and others just gargle. What inspires you?
What inspires me now is authenticity in craftsmanship, authenticity in people representing something, and really people who are masters of their craft, and making me constantly realize that I'm a student all the time, that I don't know everything. There are a lot of cats with a resume not nearly what mine is that are resting on their laurels as far as admitting they're frail human beings. They could all bone up on something. They could all learn something. And in the learning, you will create something new that may actually express something better. And that's a hard message to get across to people. And the fact that I hang my reputation on it with Toylanta and Joe Lanta, that I believe in these artists, you know, and I believe in those craftsmen. And I think that, you know, they're going to warrant a genre of their own as vinyl art does now. Robert will tell you.
Hey, buddy, you were a Southern Baptist preacher at one time, weren't you? The way you talk.
No, bro, I'm a junk man's son, brother. My daddy was an antiques dealer for 60 years.
Yeah, man.
He was old Boston junk hauler, baby. That was.
And I know you're in the restaurant business too, right? You have
I was in the restaurant business for 35 years. I just hung up the hat on it all. I'm just going to go play with my toys, man. Literally, I'm developing my dream maker studio down near Pensacola. So I'm going to have maker stations of all sorts in it. So artists can just walk in and start making what they know with the tools that are there. Because the only way you can get this stuff spread is to get people together and really set something on fire. Yeah. So that's kind of my pursuit now, is getting this place together. And when I make the move in mid-September, and really make it what we've all really wanted was one central workshop where a lot of people could come in and tear things up. Because I can't wait to get this bunch with Scott Stewart out of Jacksonville Beach. Do you guys know Scott Stewart?
No.
Scott is a Marx recast guy.
Oh, okay.
And he is the most fun when you're making stuff of anybody in the world. Half the stuff may get messed up because you're having way too much fun, but man, it's fun to get the boys together and just tear into stuff. You know, there's an energy there that's like a rock band jamming.
Awesome.
There's a lot of silicone and epoxy resin gets spilled in the pursuit of fun.
Yeah,
you keep saying artist. Just remember, you five are artists. I'm just a monkey with a camera, man. Okay.
My brother, I wouldn't have any reference.
No,
I saw the Alamo diorama. You can't say that you're not a creative.
Yeah, I play around with dioramas, but I'm not flocking. I'm not doing this stuff. I'm not 3D printing like Jim Egner. I mean, you guys are.
But the photo dioramas, man, are the future storytelling. I mean, there's a lot of people that'll never physically get together to see a real diorama in play. That's where I think the photo dioramas, the action shots, the stormtroopers running through the river with explosions all around them and smoke rising off of it. You supply the special effects on that one after the moment, you know? Yeah. It's an amazing form of storytelling. Don't sell that short one bit, pal. I wouldn't have anything to rip off.
Yeah. Right on.
So, Mike, do you do any photography of your stuff, or do you just play with the resins?
Yeah, I do. I try to do some photo stories and stuff. It's fun. I like to flock custom figures on Cotswold bods in order to give them a different look and do that kind of thing. Fortunately, this summer I ain't had a lot of time for it, but we're trying.
You know, it's like a muscle, man. You just move it as much as you can. Eventually, you'll be a strong man, brother. But Angela's
my best, bro.
You know, he's used a lot of your stuff in some of his remakes. You used some of his body kits, right? So I think we exchanged some artwork many years ago. I ended up with some of your kits over the years. That always, but this stuff travels through collections. When people sell collections, they're selling all the collections they bought up to that point. Mm-hmm. And I end up with the damnedest stuff. It's just amazing. You're putting together stories like CSI. You know, it is absolutely like, what was this kid up to doing this, man? Those stories are secondary entertainment nobody talks about.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest piece you got in a collection?
Who's this for?
Who's that for?
Throw it out there. Weirdest piece off the top of your head, Jim Egnar.
Oh, I've talked to y'all about this before. What I collect is just vintage stuff, so I don't have a whole lot of custom stuff. That I guess the weirdest thing.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I have to think of it because I'm such a fuddy dud when it comes to out of the box collecting of stuff. I mean, it's just.
And
I've got an adventure team. I guess it's an adventure team talking commander top that's yellow.
There you go, man.
You know, it's not that out of the box, but it is kind of weird, I guess. The coolest things I've got is when I was a kid growing up, my dad's fishing buddy had two sons. They were a little bit older than I am, and they had the talking adventure team commander. Well, for my 37th birthday, my dad's fishing buddy gave me the Foot Lockers that had that old figure in it from when I was a kid. So I wound up with my dad's fishing buddy's son's G.I. Joe collection for my 37th birthday.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
It's that kind of stuff that I find fascinating. So,
Mike, you were saying?
I've got a lot of weird stuff on my collection. Not only my jewelry, but I got a lot of weird stuff.
Your whole collection's weird stuff, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man.
It is.
Yeah.
If anybody's got weird stuff, it's gonna be Robert.
Yeah.
And probably with attachments. So there you go. But I mean, Paul, have you come across a collection where you found some object that maybe told a story about that person in the collection, or something a kid made for himself that just ended up in your
nothing really a kid made, but I collected a lot of Mark stuff as a kid. Guns of Navarone was like my biggest play set I had.
And that's a good one.
And with that, I still have the same one. So that's just childhood memories. And I can make up stories about me and, Steve and Ray and Mario and all my neighbor. That was it, man. I was the kid on the block with the Guns of Navarone, and each one of us was one of those figures. And, that was pre 12-inch G.I. Joe kind of stuff, before Star Wars came out.
That's when lighters ruled the world.
Yeah. Lighters and BB guns. Lighters and BB guns.
With special effects waiting to happen, baby.
And that brings me to one of the early heads that I flocked. I received a figure, and it had powder burns all across its face, and you can actually see where the wick had burned right across.
I remember that you posted that.
When I took the head off to flock it, there was still firecracker paper inside, and I could tell it was a Thunderbird firecracker. It had the little like the little flower on it, because you could tell Black Cat versus Thunder, and it still had the paper in its neck where the dude tried to blow him up.
That is the CSI I was talking about, brother. That's the very gold we were looking for.
Oh, goodness.
Man, it's amazing. And we went so many years without stuff. And y'all remember the great droughts of the 80s of really cool stuff. And then you get into the 90s, and I see our friends from Lennard are here. I can't tell you how many of those Lennard sets just bridged me over as adventure team.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of that stuff.
It was very sci-fi, and the colors could be, but it was great basis for customizing. And I know a lot of people that painted that stuff up.
He actually asked a question earlier. You missed it though, but he said, "What do you think of the Ultra Core?"
I love the Ultra Core stuff. It was sci-fi goodness. I had young kids around the house at that time, and it was the playability factor I was looking for, because everything that was coming out from everybody else at that point was pretty fragile stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep a 21st century accessory on a figure to save my hand. But it was just an amazing time to find stuff. But what I liked about the Lennard stuff is they were sci-fi when sci-fi wasn't being represented in 1/6 scale. Everything was military scale at that point. And it kind of freed people up thinking about it. And I thought, there are some books that are remiss out there for not covering the other companies from that time. M&C Toys, Lennard.
Yes. Formative.
Informative. Those guys from Formative were hitting their stride at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They were preaching the gospel on accessories there at the end. And I was like, and then Brother Man tells me he's getting out of the business. He's retiring. I'm like, no, man, you just released that great beret. You can't go anywhere. It was a great set. And to see them just hit their stride, and they just couldn't win the race, or they couldn't get to the end of that race. And I tell Rex Adams all the time, he needs to write a book about 21st century. Although I know it had to be heavily redacted. There's no way you could tell all those stories, but Rex was such a great rep for those cats. And, we based a lot of our early Joe Lana exclusives, which we've done 24 at this point, and they're pretty sought after. People dig them, some more than others, but everybody's got their heavy hitter years. But to see these things that were the result of imagination fall into the hands of a limited number of collectors, it's actually almost oddly more satisfying than seeing my stuff in mass market. I've had experience both ways, and to see the level of appreciation something you make inside this hobby going to somebody in this hobby, and then being excited enough to talk about it.
Yeah, you think about
that's on par with
you think about dreams and visions, and what they had started, and then
oh my God,
you got to be kidding!
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, they came out hitting so hard. I've got, I think the Cody Lane Foundation for diorama they donated it to us years and years ago.
Wow.
So hopefully they'll bring that out and refurb it sometime. But they put it all out there, and then they put Scott Beckman in their Air Force guy. So I thought, that's an immortality few will ever attain, sir. Also, relaunched Buddy Charlie, which I may just do. Don't hold me back. So what great knockoff line from yesteryear do you think should be relaunched?
Mr. Action.
Definitely
Mr. Action. Yes.
That's it. Dynaman was always, I don't know.
There's another good one.
Yeah.
Some of those Italian companies that you just stumble across one or two of, it's like, where did this come from and how did it get here?
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. So we get a lot of like knockoff searchers at Joe Lana. And I think Steve Stovall has been known to put on a wacky knockoff competition after hours. And we'll have a hospitality suite, so don't fool yourself, it won't be hopping. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to see what they cook up on that front this year. It's always the spur of the moment knockoff or the spur of the moment improv figure competitions are always my favorite stuff about any of the shows I go to, because people are buying stuff for nothing and making something cool out of it. Their energy's in it.
Yeah. That's the best.
Yep. And so I killed the conversation again. Fellas, I'm well known for doing this. I'll roll right over you like an army tread.
This is your
Robert,
show,
you got a
brother.
question? Mike, you got a question?
I mean,
Not
it's
at the
just,
moment.
it's, a lot of it, a lot of what he said is true though. I mean, there's a satisfaction when you make something and then you sell it and you see that people still, treasure it and stuff. It makes you feel good. And that it just didn't go to the wayside, because like when I was making stuff that I was selling back in the day, I only did that for a couple of years, and I've had emails from clients that still tell me that it's still one of their jewels in their collection, and I'm like, wow, you still have that from the 90s. I'm like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah, that goes back further than me, but that's one of the neatest things I like too, is when I put together a talker or do a flock custom head and the guy's like, wow, this is awesome. That just makes me like, yeah, I'm good. And it's really, it's really good. The other thing that's best about it though is that I was able to bring that figure back to life for the guy.
Right.
I've had so
You're
many
responsible
people.
for a lot of talkers talking again.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
am.
right,
Thank
man.
you.
Yes.
That the custom flocking work is the thing I like the best, because I get people who come to me and they'll say like I mentioned this when we had Jeremy Milford on. He'd come up with an idea and say, hey, can you bring this to reality? And I'd be like, I look at it and say, okay, we'll give it a shot. And every time it's been like, people are like, whoa, this is awesome. So that's the best thing for me, is creating those custom heads and stuff. And I like that a lot.
Absolutely.
And it's, and when you take a busted up Joe whose face is all carved up when some kid tries to scrape his beard off with a razor, Hey,
Oh, yeah.
flock covers a multitude of sins. And
It
you know about
does,
that, dude.
absolutely. It does. And those Joes being brought back to life at that level, that it's like jewelry on a beautiful woman. You know, you get
Yep.
the flocking on a figure, it gives it a personality. No two flock jobs ever are truly the same, you know, and
Yeah.
sometimes you get those that are just a little more something. There's no word
Yep.
for it, but it's like
Yep.
more on, you know, that's more Joe for me, you know, that's it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, you're
I thought I was
exactly
the
right.
only one that noticed that each one had a slightly different personality. And they just looked at
Oh,
They
Sure.
do, man.
Yeah.
Those molds gave way back in the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
pal. Those
Yeah.
molds only held up so long. They started distorting. You had the Elephant Man Joe, all kinds of stuff.
So what kind of flocking does the elephant man need?
Hey, man, you know, whatever kind he wants, brother. He is a star, baby. He is a star.
Hey, buddy, before
But,
I run out of time, I always have 2 questions I got to ask every guest that's been on my show, okay?
All right.
First one is, did you have a favorite toy as a child growing up? And it doesn't have to be G.I. Joe if it wasn't G.I. Joe. You don't have to say it.
Oh, it's G.I. Joe,
was it?
man. I mean, it's the 1972 Air Adventurer, the one with the orange hair and beard. They can call it red all they want to. It's orange. and I wore that poor bad boy out. He was just suffering under my rule, no doubt about it. And at the end of the day, he got a military burial. And if I could figure out where I buried him, I'd go digging every day, man. I swear, he was awesome. He was a champ, man.
That's awesome.
But we all give in, and there wasn't no medic back then. Baby.
Next question. What was your best childhood memory regarding your toys? Anything? Like Christmas, birthday?
Oh, my dad was an antique dealer, and we didn't live in the same town with him. We were only with him occasionally. And when I was about 8 years old, I didn't think the old man gave much of a notice about the toy situation in our life. But I came walking into his shop for the summer, and he had bought every Marx metal playset of like the Western Town, Cape Kennedy, every one of them, of course, used. He was a junk man. He had a code to live by. Yeah. But man, this huge conference table was covered in these Marx figures. And it had every one of those figures down to the holy crap, I'm shot cowboy in blue.
I remember him.
And that second, my old man became my hero because he had to have worked hours and hours and hours to put that thing together. I was like, I've never seen anything like it. And I had never even heard of those playsets. That was the first time I ever saw those playsets. And it was amazing. And it was like a chorus of very large women singing in the background. The old man was walking on clouds for me then. It was fun. It maybe beat the World War I gas mask he gave us, hopefully unused. I think it was unused. So.
Just change the filters, man. It'll still work.
Absolutely. Peanut filters go a long way, right, brother?
Yeah.
You guys got any more questions before we dive into some trivia with this gentleman?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Oh, man, you're not doing the trivia to him, are you?
Well, you know what? Yeah.
No, the trivia is for you, Jim.
Ah,
Yeah.
crap.
So, buddy, let me tell you something.
Specifically, give Jim a hard time.
Well, last week, Jim got stomped on because it was all toy trivia about 3 3/4 G.I. Joe, which Jim was kind of left out of that whole thing. So he didn't get the answer. He didn't get the answer to one question. So
I feel your pain, brother.
All right, so I'm taking it easy on him, and we're going with older toys, 70s and 80s, early 70s and 80s quiz. All right.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to start in our top right, and we go to Angelo first. And if Angelo doesn't get it, it's up for grabs for any 4 of you guys. And then we just go to Jim, and so on. All right.
So Jim's questions are up for grabs for everybody else too.
You're going to get some of these. Matter of fact,
We expect you to try.
I think tonight's is going to be too easy for all you guys. So, but we're going to start with Angelo. Angelo,
Yes, sir.
what toy has red rocker and blue bomber?
A Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots it is. Jim Egner, what Hasbro Romper Room toy was released in 1971, never fell down, and lasted 10 years?
Oh, never fell down. Weebles wobble, but they don't Pop.
You got it, brother. Weebles wobble, but they'll fall down. Medic Mike.
Yo,
Medic Mike, what popular video game was inspired by table tennis?
Pong.
Pong, you are correct.
Mike always gets them right.
Buddy, we're going with you on this one.
All right.
Which toy was advertised as perfect for people who hate animals?
This is not a firearm, is it?
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to pass on that one, brother. I
Really?
don't want the ASPCA up on me. Peter's got a.
It is the pet. It is the pet rock. Who said that? Who said pet rock? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one.
See, I knew somebody would get that. That's awesome. All right, Robert, we're up to you now. Which toy originally required a piece of black paper to work properly?
Black paper? Is that the
I know.
Mike knows.
I don't know what they call it, but isn't it that thing where you draw on it, then you lift the plastic up and the drawing
No.
disappears?
Can I say it now?
You can
Go
say
for
it.
Light bright.
Light bright, baby.
Right.
Light bright.
Okay.
Oh, that was a trick question, brother. Physics were involved.
We're back up to Angelo. 1973 stunt cycle toy was named after a real life daredevil.
Evel Knievel.
Man, you got the easy
Yes.
ones.
Hey,
Hey, that was
Yeah,
good mine.
That was one of my
it's
favorite
all the
toys.
easy ones, man.
And how many
That
bones did
was
he
one of
break?
my favorite. Oh man, I wish I still had that one.
Jim Egner. Which toy is called? And this is French. I'm gonna screw this one up. El Crane Magique, which is its birthplace is in France, which means magic screen.
Etch and sketch.
That's a sketch. You are correct. That's a sketch.
Two for
Medic
two.
Mike.
2 for 2.
Medic Mike, the Stretch Armstrong action figure was primarily filled with what?
Oh God, I don't know. Some kind of gooey shit that you could stretch.
Is it corn syrup?
I honestly don't know what the hell they filled him with.
Buddy, did you say corn syrup?
No, Mr. DeCastro did, sir.
Ah, it is corn syrup.
It is
Yeah.
corn syrup.
Well, I gotta tell one about
Really?
Stretch Armstrong. We tied Stretch Armstrong's arm at the top stair of my aunt's house, and we pulled that sucker all the way down to the bottom, and then we took scissors. And
It was like a murder
Sounds
scene.
like you, Ed.
Oh, hey,
It was
Hey,
a murder
I
scene.
got
Bad.
I got a Stretch Armstrong story too. I had one of those as a kid, and since he was all smushy and you could stretch him and thought, I figured I'd punch him right in the gut and he would just be oh no!
Yeah, no.
That shit was hard till you stretched it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
My wrist doing that, man.
Oh, that still
right.
hurts just thinking about it.
I think we're up to Buddy again, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on the
All right.
street.
Which toy boasted that you can't hurt babies or old people with it?
What?
Well, that should be a
It's
general.
a rig job, man. I
That
know
should
a
be a-
rig job when I see one.
That's like one I usually get.
There's a few alternatives in there that aren't pretty to consider. I'm gonna have to pass it, brother.
Was it-
My God,
was it Nerf?
I've got to pay
It was
close
Nerf ball. Nerf ball.
Oh, the Nerf ball. Good God.
Yeah.
All you old guys should be getting this shit, man.
I should be, but I
Oh,
heard
come on, we're
my
doing
old-
pretty well here.
I get it on the rebound, man.
There you go.
Mike's
We're gonna
Dojo
make him
said
look
lawn,
good.
lawn darts. Come on, man.
Oh, I love my lawn darts.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Safe for old people. All right. Robert, you're up, buddy.
All righty.
The original Speak and Spell was released by what company in the late 1970s? And I will give you a hint on this.
Is it?
They were famous for making calculators.
I know.
I know you knew. You're an engineer. I knew you would.
I was gonna say Ohio Art, but
No.
Does it
Jim,
have a state,
don't.
does it have a
Texas
state
Instrument.
name? Does it have a state name in it?
Yep. Texas Instrument.
There
Yep.
you go.
Back to
Man.
Angelo. Angelo, you get the easiest ones. What makes Shrinky Dink shrink?
Heat.
Heat. Yeah, heat.
Put it in the oven.
Yeah, put it in the oven.
I was
Jim
going to say
Egner.
scathing criticism. It works on
Jim-
me. That's all.
Jim
I
Egner.
Oh,
Between Angelo and Buddy, we're never going to get through this quiz.
no, that was my job in class as a kid.
Class clown.
Distractor.
Jim Egner, ready?
no.
Here we go. Lizzie, Homer, Harry, and Henry are all the main characters of what 70s toy? Lizzie, Homer, Harry, and Henry.
Play school. No, I'm done. That's all.
Sounds like a porn movie, man.
Well, I mean, you can throw a wild one out there and say Sunshine Family.
Nope.
Nope.
Is it a line of the
All right,
paper
Mike, bail
balls?
me out here.
I know you guys all had it.
Okay.
My little sister had it. Hungry, Hungry Hippos.
Oh,
Hungry.
wow.
That
I
was
didn't
the name
even
of
know
the-
those. I didn't know they had names.
Me
I
neither.
didn't know they had names. Wow.
You like your hippos anonymous, sir.
Hey, buddy, I don't know how many live streams you've been on, but ours is nothing like anybody
And
else's.
you know what? My history
It usually
helps
goes off the
whole
rails
world
real
to
quick
see.
on my show. So.
Yeah.
You can't hurt what's already dinged, baby.
That's right, man.
Oh boy.
All right, Mike, you're up.
But quick, I'm going to stick a commercial in here. Anybody that's interested in more info about Joe Lana and Toy Lana coming up afterwards, go to joelana.org or toylana.com. And if you're interested in any of the exclusives that we've got left, just holler at us. And I appreciate you guys so much for having me on here tonight. It's
Yeah,
been
man.
fantastic for sure.
Are we going to finish out these quiz or no?
We are, absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
run.
yeah, come on. Come on.
Run it.
I don't know. I don't know if you were saying I'm
I was
fucking
just
out of
waiting,
here.
I'm
put
waiting.
it in there so I didn't
Come on,
get
Paul,
cut out in the
stop
editing.
He stopped
only
me
got
once
like-
already.
I only
You
have
do it
like 18
twice.
more questions. Come on, man.
Yeah, let's go. Put some
All right.
down, Paul.
Mike, you're up.
Yep.
Coin-operated arcades took a severe hit when this was released.
Oh shit!
Oh, dude.
It cannot be the same answer as before.
No.
I'm going to go with AT. Start with AT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atari.
Yeah, there you go.
Atari.
Yeah.
Atari 2600. You got it.
The first one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 2600.
That makes a certain amount of sense.
The one with
Uh,
two moving sticks instead of one?
Buddy, you're up.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, your question is, to capitalize on the success of Star Wars, the Lego Group manufactured this line of bricks.
The Lego, the Bionicles, or
No.
is it
Way-
further
way
back
before.
than that?
Way before Bionicles.
This
Talking
one.
1978.
Good God. Star Bricks,
Yeah, Space Legos.
Space Legos.
Oh,
Wow, really?
goodness.
Well, before that, all they had
I'm
was bricks.
telling you, I think
Yeah.
somebody paid you to give me these questions, right? They did. Somebody, there's some payola going on here.
If anybody's
I
going to
gotta
get this
whip.
next question, it's going to be Robert. Ready? Made up of approximately 2,000 natural rubber filaments, this toy was invented by an engineer who wanted to make playing catch more simple and safe for his children.
I don't know what makes you think.
I think I know this one. Oh my God. I get one. It's
Go
Super
for
Bowl,
it.
baby.
Nope.
Tell me that description doesn't lay down on a Super Bowl.
Well, not 2,000 natural rubber
You
filaments.
seen how many rubber bands are inside of a Super Bowl? Come on, it's a trick. I'm telling
Those
you.
are. I think they're made out of solid rubber.
I was going to say, that's solid rubber. What are you talking about? You're thinking of a golf ball.
No, I don't know.
Don't eat
man.
that stuff. It's deadly poison.
Angelo, do you know it? It's a koosh ball, man. Koosh ball.
What the heck is that?
What is that?
I never heard of that before, dude.
that
What's
didn't
that?
make it past Paul's neck of the woods, pal.
Oh, man.
That's that New York tryout
It's,
stuff, right?
It's probably buried in Hasbro's lot with the flubber.
Yeah.
We got 4 more questions. Angelo, you're up.
Yes.
A catchy jingle went along with this toy and helped to draw kids to the stuffed monkeys?
Stuffed monkeys.
Early 80s. Yes, sir.
Oh, I think I know.
Yeah. Say it.
Monchi-Chi?
Munchie dolls.
Munchie
Munchie. Yep.
Monchi.
They even had a cartoon, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim Egner.
That's one.
Jim Egner, this toy captured the attention of boys and girls everywhere because of its ability to move its eyes and mouth, which were revolutionary at the time.
Move its eyes and its mouth. And
What?
Well, you got to think of the early 80s or late 70s.
Is it a
maybe.
Furby?
late 70s.
No, it is a.
I know it.
I
you know, go
take
for
it. I'm
Go
dead.
ahead.
You're not talking about a Furby, are you?
Nope. Before
Oh.
Furbies.
Teddy
Ooh,
Ruxpin?
damn.
Teddy Ruxpin. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Teddy
good
Ruxpin.
one.
Oh.
I got two
That's
questions
more
left.
Wow.
Mike, what began as a 1960s Belgian comic evolved into action figures, a popular TV show, video games, countless stuffed animals, and commercials in the 80s?
Damn. I'm going to take a wild guess here because I'm probably going to be wrong. And we're going to say Smurfs.
Dude, that is right. You are correct.
Oh,
Ah,
dang.
damn.
I just pulled that one right out of my, you know what.
Yeah.
That
Are you
could've
Googling
been a
that
blind
shit?
guess. Was that a totally blind guess, Mike?
Yes, sir, it was.
Wow.
Hey, man, there you go. Hail Mary still works.
I think he's
baby.
Googling
Play
that
the
shit on the
lottery,
side.
man.
Last question
You
for
guys
you,
ever
buddy.
read
Last
this?
question for you, bro.
Yeah,
In
let's have it.
1977, Migos interchangeable action figures hit store shelves. This set of 3.5-inch figurines had interchangeable parts that could be swapped to create new versions of the line's characters. What was the line called?
That was the Micronauts.
That was the
sir.
Micronauts, sir. You are correct.
Absolutely. I love that Mike Golden Micronauts series.
There you go.
Mike Golden was probably one of the most underrated comic book guys
Yep.
in history. And his Micronaut run, top of the line, baby. Top of the line.
Well, you kind of beat us to the punch, but I always bring in the guest at last, and if there's anything you wanted to plug, but you already kind of did it. But I'll bring it up
plug
again
it
if there's
again.
Plug
anything you
some
want
more,
to say.
buddy. Plug some more.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about.
All right, joelana.org and toylana.com, and that'll get you to our website, or you can join virtual Toylana fan group on Facebook. We also have the Toylana group and the Joe Lana group there. And you can just reach out any way you can. Facebook is probably the easiest way to get me. And that's Buddy Finethy on Facebook. So Finethy, like fine vibe. And Joanna and Toylana is our baby. It's a great show. We want to see all of you guys.
And he
there.
gave me his personal cell phone, so I'll just post that out there, everybody.
There you go. You got it, man. This group, I'd have to pay you to send it to these guys. Don't let the amateurs in.
Hey, buddy. 5 of us are in the Axis of Awesome, and we always take a vote to see who, if we're going to let new people in. And I'd like to nominate you as a member of the Axis of Awesome. I don't know if
All right.
we get somebody to
I'll
second
take the
that.
nomination.
Second
I'll
that.
second it.
All
Third,
right.
fourth.
All in
All
favor? Well, buddy, I guess
We'll
whether
do
you
it.
want to be or not, I mean, you can turn it down. You don't have to accept it.
Yeah, I'm such a wallflower.
Yeah.
If you don't accept it, you have to suffer our wrath.
You don't have to give us your answer
I
right
didn't
away. You
know
can think
that.
about it for a couple of days if you like. So
Hey, I made it through the whole show and didn't cuss.
I-
Folks. I was told it's impossible. So we're all good.
You did better than I did.
I do it all the time.
Well, I have a pretty high bar for what actually is cussing.
once again, it's an honor and
Thanks,
privilege to have you
everybody
on,
out there
sir.
for watching.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate all your audience members chiming in too. I haven't had time to read any of it because it's been going fast and furious.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much.
Well, thanks again, and I will be sending you some stuff on the Axis of Awesome, and it does give you a 20% discount at Home Depot, and
All right.
and one free ice cream every month at Dairy Queen. So
Hey, man,
Hey, I didn't
I'm
go to
down
Dairy
with
Queen.
it. I try to defeat that starving artist
Yeah.
thing, man. So let's do it.
again, thanks, and everybody have a great night.
Nice
See you
to
next
meet
week.
you.
Hey.
Thanks, buddy.
Buddy.